What's up, guys? MMAGAME here, bringing you another video. This video is going to be about the new patch for EA Sports UFC. I'm just going to go through and kind of give you guys as many tips as that I've been able to figure out on how to defend, how to stay offensive, and how to win, and also just inform you of some few things to hopefully help you out and get you on the winning track and not lose as much, because I will say when the patch was first released, I actually lost quite a bit, got relegated a couple times, but I've been sort of adapting, flowing like water, and have learned a few things. So basically, the main thing that you'll see the biggest difference in right off the bat is the striking. You'll see guys start throwing crazy amounts of strikes at you, and you may just be like, what the heck, they're just spamming like crazy. But there is good news. The block is actually pretty much just as effective. Now, not as effective if they are switching it up back and forth from head to body. So you won't be able to block completely the same, but hold that block and it will protect you against someone who is just completely spamming. So that is the first line of defense. Again, is holding the block, because anytime you try to get in a scrap, you're always risking it. So it is very risky to get in a kind of a scrapping hook battle with some of these guys, because they're really fast with the combos. And if you haven't practiced the combo speed, that's another thing I'm going to talk about. The way the combos work is it's based on right, left. So if you just sit there and throw left hook, left hook, left hook, or left uppercut, or a bunch of strikes from the left side, it's not going to flow really well, and it's going to be a lot slower. So what you want to do is mix it up and kind of roll, try to like roll with your combos, left, right, and mix in also uppercuts. I've figured out are really, really effective. You can mix in an uppercut. I usually throw the uppercuts in like toward the end of the combos, not at the beginning, and then as well as mixing in the different kinds of strikes, you can mix in the target. So go body head, and then throw in maybe a leg kick, stuff like that. But a lot of people right now actually can't really completely deal with the hooks. So I have been throwing a lot of hooks, and I'm sure you'll be able to see that in the video I'm putting behind this video. But it's only because I'm not needing to do anything besides that. So if they start blocking or doing something else, then that's when I'll have to maybe take them down or clinch them or leg kick. So yeah, and the thing with leg kicks is that they actually made them a little bit tougher. To block a leg kick, you have to block pretty early for it to actually get the check. And the thing that it's not how it was before, where if you block one and you see him, you check it, you can't really throw a little counter strike back anymore, because they're just able to throw so much faster back at you that it almost never lands when you try to throw a counter after that leg kick. So basically, if you're going to try to counter after a leg kick, you want to try to parry and then counter, which brings me into the next topic of the parries. That's one thing that has been changed a lot. And with the parries, it's actually way more useful and a lot more difficult to actually get. Not so higher risk, higher reward type thing. Before, when you landed a parry and then went for a counter, you could only land about one strike after you hit that parry. Now you can land, depending on who you use and the different staminas and how their striking speed is, you can land like 2 or 3, which then can even lead to the complete end of the fight, depending on their stamina and how hurt they are. So just off one parry, you can drastically, or one parry counter, I should say, you can drastically change the entire flow of the fight. So you really got to be careful about getting parried, but the main thing is that just don't go for too many parries, because if you can't just sit there and try to parry every strike, because if you do, it's just not possible with the way the speed is, the body head. you're just not going to be able to parry every strike. So if you go for too many parries, you're actually going to get hurt, you know, a lot more, because from missed parries, as you guys know, that still is the same way. If you miss a parry and get hit, it's going to do a lot more damage to you. So be careful with the parries. And if you see your opponent throwing some Superman punches, that is a strike you really want to parry. And guys, when you get the parry, when you land the successful parry, get in those strikes after the counter strikes as fast as you can and throw. Don't just stop at one. Throw at least two and keep it right, left. So parry, right, left, right maybe, or whatever. A 3-punch combo after the parry is very, very useful and can deal insane amounts of damage, especially on certain strikes like your Superman punch. Also, when you catch a kick now, the same thing applies. You can land combos, not just one strike after you catch these kicks. So that is a very, very good tip. If you guys have not been trying that, highly recommend doing it, because you get some huge damage done, and it's really, really cool to do for sure. Very fun too. The other big thing they changed with the patch is the takedowns, and I am actually a huge fan of this change. I think with the last patch, it was near impossible to take down a good player. I'd say it was basically impossible, and it was based on stamina before, I believe, but now I do not think stamina has a huge role in whether or not you get the takedown. I think it is primarily based on the timing of the takedown, meaning if you slip in the right timing under a hook, or some punches, but mostly kicks. If you can time a takedown when they're in the middle of a kick, you pretty much get that takedown every time. They can't defend it. So if they're starting to spam leg kicks, this is the thing that basically ruins the whole. You can't really spam leg kicks anymore against a player who knows what they're doing, because all they need to do is just shoot for a takedown, kind of back up, shoot for a takedown, and if they catch that leg in the mid takedown, it's just an automatic takedown, and then you're in the ground game. So I've been shooting a lot of takedowns, trying to work the ground game a lot. They also added like 4 different new animations for the takedowns, which look really cool. One other thing they do with the takedowns is add a guillotine choke submission, and I haven't fully figured this out yet. Let me know in the comments if you guys have figured out exactly how the guillotine takedown choke works. This is if you're, defending it, you can actually catch someone in a guillotine. I believe it's by holding R1 and down on the right stick. There's been other times where I haven't pressed that and it's done it automatically, so I don't exactly know how that works again, but once you actually get the fighter to the ground game has also changed. They changed the priority on who gets the first transition attempt and stuff like that, and basically it sort of favors guys who just go for, if you get the transition, then you have the priority to get the next transition. I think it's very good, because it makes the guy on top actually he has to be more active with his defense as well, not just his offense. Before it was kind of just, once you're on top, you're kind of just getting to that mount and that's it. You don't have to worry about anything else. But now it's more balanced, I think. The guy on the bottom has a better shot of getting back to guard and standing up. So I think it's a lot more balanced. I actually really like the ground game. It's a lot tougher to hold people down, but you just have to work if you're on top and you want to stay on top, you just need to you have to deny more transitions. So not only before, you only had to really deny like the stand-up one, didn't really have to worry about any of the side transitions, but now you can just deny the side ones as well. So it's fun. I'm getting better at it. And the other thing that people have been saying is that the mount is useless. I completely disagree with this. The reason they say that the mount is useless is the fact that if you're on bottom mount, all they need to do is just keep clicking in the left trigger and it will just keep trying to push them up. That is true that you can do that, but you can sneak in shots every time they do that. And at the end of the day, yes, they're surviving, but are they winning? No, they're not winning. They're losing. They're just stalling. They're not really protecting themselves very much, and at the end of the day, you can still get some decent damage done even if they are trying to posture up over and over, or not posture up, but kind of kick out over and over. So it's never really been a problem for me. And you know, if there's 20 seconds left or 30 seconds left and they need to do that to survive for the next round, well, then that's just the way it is. And I actually kind of like that, because I don't think that you should be able to master any position and be able to hold someone there just indefinitely and just be able to completely dominate them in any one position. I don't think any position should be that powerful. And at the end of the day, if someone is doing that with a bunch of time left on the clock, you can really get sneaky and sneak in some shots and transition out of mount into side control and try to work side control. Now, you can still knock people out from side control. You can still knock people out from half guard. So if they're just trying to posture up, try to get as much damage done and then try to move to a different position and then work that. So that's what I've been trying to do. And it has not been a problem for me at all so far. If it has, then I would definitely tell you guys, but I really don't think it's a problem. One problem that there is there is a glitch that's happened to me, I think 2 or 3 times, where it's happened to me 2 or 3 times, but I've seen it happen to my opponents another probably 3 or 4 times, unfortunately. And this is a glitch that they hopefully address. And hopefully, if you guys find yourself in this glitch, you can recognize it and just try to just let your opponent up or no, out of the submission. Usually the way you can tell is if you get put in a submission and your opponent is just not moving at all. Basically what happens is they're basically frozen up and they cannot use their right analog stick. I don't exactly know why this happens. I think it happens for something in the ground game. But it's happened to me twice. I can't get out of submission. I just literally can't defend any of the gates, and you just get submitted. So that's basically it. I think it can happen in mount as well, where you can't defend. So this is a just legitimate glitch. It's not an exploit or anything. It's just something that happens from time to time. Can't really do anything about it, and that it just basically equals that you just lose, or your opponent just loses if you don't let them out. I've been actually letting them out. If I see them in the submission and they're not defending at all, I'll be like, okay, this guy's obviously glitched out. I'll just let him out, and then that's the end of it. So, and we keep fighting. So that's just me. Let me know if you guys have been doing that, letting people out too, because there's no point in really getting a win like that. So just recognize that glitch. And it happened to me one time too, actually, where the guy submitted me and he thought that I actually gave up or like put my controller down. I told him no, it was a glitch. So a lot of people don't know about this yet. So I just want to try to get the word out. And if you do see it happen, let the guy out and keep it going, because the fight, it's not like he's glitched out forever. If you do let him out, he's normal and everything is fixed once he gets back to the stand-up. So that's it. That's basically this video. Try to cram as much info about the patch in my opinions. Overall, I really like it. Some of the problems have obviously been that I think that certain fighters are a little bit certain tactics. The one thing that they did not fix is actually the clinch glitch. So but they've said that this isn't the last patch. Obviously, I think it is a step moving forward. With anything that they change, there's going to be other issues that arise. But in general, I do like this patch because I was getting super, super tired of the last patch and just the kind of just stale, slow pace of the fights. This sped stuff up a lot. Having so much fun. Had an awesome live stream the other night. Thanks everyone who watched. I'm going to try to keep those going as long as I can. And other than that, guys, let me know your opinions of the patch, what you think, any info that I left out of this video. Also, leave a like on the video if you enjoyed. Follow me on Twitch TV and Twitter. Till next time, this has been MMAGAME. Peace.